We are now live. And by we, I mean I am now live. I don't know if anyone can hear me. Please let me know in the chat on YouTube.
We are now live.
I'm going to turn off the sound here of myself. And yeah, talk to you. You can chat me in the YouTube comments chat, and I will respond to your questions and tell you what is going on with my life and what has taken so long to get this live chat up and going. Why I'm wearing 2 coats and a hat inside. Okay, let's see. What are you all saying here? Also, thank you for being here. It's really cool. I know that you had not much notice on the live chat, and then you tried to get here, and I couldn't figure out YouTube. And then I'm in the Complexly building right now, which produces SciShow and Crash Course and Animal Wonders and SciShow Space and Eons, all these great shows. I'm actually in the Holy Fucking Science sound studio, which I have reserved on Mondays and Wednesdays to record the Sexplanations podcast. And I thought, I don't have any guests today, so I'm going to do a live stream. And tried to do it and couldn't figure it out. So I went upstairs and spoke with Nicole, who helps produce Crash Course. And she was awesome and just guided me around the buttons until we figured out something that works. So here I am. Let's see what you're saying in the comments. So we've got a live stream going. And all of you are saying hi, which is great. Hi. Hi. You like my hat. Great. I like my hat too. It's made by Piper and Paisley. I got it at a craft fair on sale. Boyfriend update. And thank you for sharing your 4 seconds of free time before class. Okay, let's see. Boyfriend update. He is great. I don't really know what to do with myself most of the time because I feel overwhelmed by the learning experience. I am really happy. I was really happy before, and now I'm really happy still. Let's see. When are you breaking ground and starting construction on the University of Sexplanations? I like the name of that, except a university implies that I offer graduate work, and I don't know if I'm qualified to do that yet. But I have been looking at properties and talking with someone about starting a school. It is an end goal, and I don't know where it will be. In fact, my dream situation is that it has multiple locations. And so you would spend 3 months in Paris and 3 months in Missoula and 3 months in New York. And the students would rotate through the year and go to the program wherever it was. And hopefully, I imagine housing on campus. And I've spent a lot of time fantasizing about different buildings and how to convert them into like a sex museum, classroom area, dormitory style place, dungeon, right? I just want all my dreams to come true in the same space. All right, more questions. Yes, I am in Missoula. What do you think about the notion that BDSM is sexist? I don't think that it's intrinsically sexist. Maybe I'm missing something. I think that people can play into a sexist aspect of that, and I hope that that is consensual. Otherwise, it doesn't really seem like it's BDSM to me, because so much of the BDSM culture to me, what I admire about it, respect, what I think that the vanilla community at large should adopt from it, is the nature of consensuality. People in the scene community just take that to a really cool level. Yes, I'm in Missoula. What's it like there with regards to safety and quality of life for LGBT+? I think it's amazing. I have lots of friends in the community, and they seem really happy about the community that we have and how they're treated and respected. I mean, time flies so quickly, but within the last decade, we passed an anti-discrimination law. So you cannot discriminate against LGBT plus individuals for housing, jobs, etc. That's pretty cool. You can look us up. I think we're one of the most LGBT plus friendly groups, cities in the country. Stay curious. My wife and I are attempting to have a baby and using thermometers and the Natural Cycles app. Is this a good way to start? And how do we sync up our sex life with our fertility cycle? Oh, how fun. I mean, I don't think that there is a place to not start. I think apps are cool. I use Clue. I don't think it's perfect. I want to change it all the time and create my own. But whatever, learning about yourself, how is there downside to that? At least not most of the time. And syncing your sex life up with your fertility cycle, my guess is that the app kind of teaches you how to do that. It depends on how long your sperm live inside your partner's body and your partner's ovulation and how long the egg lives. So if you're looking at the sperm living for 3 to 5 days and the egg living for 12 hours, then you want your sperm there in time to get there and essentially blow their head into the sperm at the exact right moment. There's really cool, it's like a quasi-documentary called The Great Sperm Race, and I would absolutely recommend watching that. I think you can get it for free on YouTube. It's going to be chopped up into multiple pieces, but you can watch, 1 out of 5 Great Sperm Race, then 2 out of 5 Great Sperm Race, and it shows human beings as sperm and then kind of walks them through this Tough Mudder, this amazing marathon to show what it's like for sperm to be in a female reproductive system. So it was helpful for me to understand more about fertility. Have you thought out curriculum for my school? Yes, but not totally. I used to write a lot of sex courses for a different school, and I've done sex courses myself when I was teaching. And so I have a sense of what I want them to look like. I've also gone to school for sex and have seen what's been done. I don't know. We'll get there. You can all help me. It will be so much fun. Oh gosh, you have so many questions and I want to answer them while still, there's things that I want to tell you. So I'm going to try and answer these, but if you could pause on asking your questions for one moment so I can give you updates and then I'll come back to the questions, that would be awesome. So I'm going to answer these, then take a break in answering them, give you updates, and then answer them again. Do you, the channel ContraPoints? Do you, I'm guessing, view it? I have seen one episode. Stevie Bobby and I had a YouTube date night, and she showed ContraPoints to me, and damn, so thorough and intelligent. I don't think that I could do it, listen, participate all the time because it's so intense. There's so much knowledge, and I spend a lot of time in this field gathering that kind of knowledge. And so it helps to have ContraPoints added, but I don't think that I can take it all in. It's a lot. We'll see. I'll keep working on it. I'm thoroughly impressed, kind of mind-boggled impressed. She does mostly cool political stuff. Yep. Let's see. Well, thanks for doing the live stream. You're welcome. Good luck in whatever you're going to try. Anna says, I have read of people who think that if you take part in scenes where the dom is a man over a woman, or where things like slurs are used, that shows what you really think about gender. Oh, I think that's referring to an earlier question about BDSM being sexist. Do you often see spouses in marriages come out as bisexual? Yes, or trans, or kinky or wanting more or wanting less. People change. Sexuality, people change. And so sexuality being a part of peoplehood can have a capricious nature to it. I don't agree with that, but I'd like to know your opinion. I'm guessing that again is referring to the sexism and BDSM, which I addressed earlier in the live stream. Do fertility apps for men exist? My guess is yes. And if you know of any, please let us know in the chat. It's so wonderful to see someone sex positive. I wish more people of all ages educated themselves more on topics. How do you introduce other generations to these topics? How do I just start talking and things kind of come out, or because my brain is so practiced at doing this, when I hear them talking about something, when I hear anybody talking about anything, there is always a neural connection in my brain to something sex related. So they might be talking about water treatment plants, and I will immediately think about flushing tampons and condoms. And then I can contribute that, and they either pick up on that conversation about sexuality and we move it to a sexual tangent, or they don't, and then I'll try again on something else. Why would someone need a hysterosalpingoophorectomy? I'm going to go with uterus and ovaries, etc., being removed. Because their medical doctors recommend it to improve the quality of their lives. Because they want it, and we are autonomous human beings with the ability to make choices. Do a Sexplanations podcast or episode with her. Who should do one? All the people should do the podcast with me. It's so fun. And you don't have to be an expert. In fact, I think I enjoy having so many people not have a sexual expertise, because then I'm just talking to people I really like about sex in an everyday kind of way. Do you know the TV program where people get married blindly based on expert opinions? Sounds like fun. Thank you so much for making Sexplanations. That has given me opportunity to learn about my sexuality and not be ashamed by it. That's what I want. Dream come true. Thank you for telling me that. That's what I want. Okay. I'm not the referenced one in my question about, so okay. Oh my gosh. Did we get to the end of this? I think you all actually paused. Oh, where do I begin with studying sex as a career? There is a Sexplanations playlist that you can go to on the video's main page, and it shows all the videos I have done about becoming a sexologist and studying it and what to do and how to volunteer and questions, etc. Okay, so there are 73 of you watching right now. Now 75. If you're just tuning in, please know, just please do a pause on the chat. Don't write anything, because I want to keep up with you, and I need about 5 minutes to do updates. Okay, so here they are. If you are here, it's probably because you are on Sexplanations podcast Patreon page, or you're on Sexplanations YouTube Patreon page, and I'm incredibly grateful for all of you. I don't take your generosity lightly. It means a huge deal. It affords me the ability to take good care of myself. And this year, for example, Missoula is in a valley, and we get bogged down with clouds because of the inversion, and I was going to lose it because I was lacking sunshine, and I was able to go to Phoenix for a week and just get sun. And that is because you enable me to do that. You allow me to provide for myself so that I not only have resources for my basic needs, but also for, mental health, emotional well-being, aesthetics, whatnot. Okay, that's really cool of you. I'm really thankful. Oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed, I poured boiling water on myself accidentally, and it is a burn that is healing, but it's okay. I'm okay. Let's see. So I'm grateful. I have a burn. I've been thinking a lot about Hannah Witten. Her video just came out. She's a sex educator in the UK, and her video just came out about the disease that she had and how it kind of took her down over the last 3 months. So my heart is going out to her, and just trying to understand how I could have been there more for her, and just, thinking about community and how we have this really amazing online space and I can send her a Twitter message, but how do we get to interact in more face-to-face ways? Do I fly to the UK and give her head massage while she suffers in the hospital? I don't know. If there's ways that you want to hang out in person, let me know. I might not give you a head massage, but I'll make you a drawing of a sheep or a snake eating an elephant. You just tell me. Let's see. What else do I want to update you on? So we have a new Sexplanations set, and I do want to do a tour if you think it's a good idea. Please send me a message. Well, you know what I'll do? On Patreon, I will create polls, and you can tell me the answers to these things. But I am wondering if you want a tour of the set to understand the props that I have displayed. I also have written an episode that is very angry. It's about circumcision, and I'm not taking this educational kind of, here are your options position. I am like full on rage screaming. I wrote it. It doesn't have to ever become a Sexplanations episode, but I thought it would be fun to run by you and see if that's something you'd like to see. What else is new in my life? I have a new boyfriend. I do get along with my ex. He's amazing, but we didn't get along as partners. And so I'm seeing this new person, and he's really cool. He's a sheep rancher. Let's see. What else? There's a new director for the channel. She's really great. I feel really safe around her. Our studio is in this basement where the Holy Fucking Science studio is, Crash Course, SciShow, all of that. It's really, really cold. If any of you would like to be responsible for sponsoring a heater, I'm going to buy this heater. It costs $39.99 or something at Ace Hardware. I'm going to buy it because I am just cold all the time. I'm cold for my podcasts, and I'm cold for the YouTube channel. And so if you want to sponsor that and like have your Patreon thing go specifically to paying for that heater, then I will use some sort of permanent marker and I will put your name on it. Or we can make it a Patreon perk, and maybe multiple people can pay for that heater to just warm me up every time I'm in this cold ass basement. What else am I thinking of? We're working on travel to Vegas to do a thing at the brothels. And I think about you guys all the time. All the time. I think about how I owe you perks. I think about how I miss talking to you. I think about how busy I am. I am going to be doing a speaking engagement in Auburn, Michigan, which is by Detroit, next week. I would love it if you could come. You're invited. It's open to the public. And then I will be in Oregon, Bend, Oregon for a small ski trip. And then I will be maybe in Boston and definitely in Knoxville, Tennessee. So if you're in any of those places, I would love to see your faces. Okay, let's go back to questions. Okay. Thanks for being open to correction and continual learning. If that's directed at me, you're welcome. Thank you for staying curious with me. If you want to be a sex therapist, that's awesome. That's all the more reason that I want to start a school, so that all of you who are inspired by this show to do sex work, you have a place to learn. Okay, thank you for the pause. Somebody verbally committed to getting us a break in the chat. So much gratitude from all of you. Dr. Doe off the cuff. I talk a lot when I'm off the cuff because moments of silence aren't filled by anyone else. So, I'm just going to talk at you. Someone wants to see the circumcision rage video. Okay. I need more than one person to want that. What do I need in order to want that? I need a majority vote on all platforms. So I will put it out to Patreon, but I also need it on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook. Yeah, because rage can be really off-putting and it can cause people to lose the message. So that's a downfall. People don't hear me for what I'm actually saying, and then people are put off by the rage and then they go away. And I'm not looking to collect people and maintain numbers, but when people leave the channel and they don't come back, that means that they are not getting the sex education that I've planned out for them. I have so much to teach. So much to teach. Oh my gosh. And if I don't do it, someone else will. That's great. But this is a platform for that. And so if they leave the platform, I think they're less likely to get it. Anyway, so I want to make sure that the circumcision rage video is a good idea. Can you make a video on sexual revolution? Is it possible for you to make collaborations with the likes of Pop Culture Detective? I don't know who Pop Culture Detective is. Inform me. And video on sexual revolution, yes. It might not be for a while because I have some more pressing things. Like I want to talk about asphyxiation a lot. But the process for doing that means that I have to write the script way in advance because it needs approval by all of these different people. And I'm just trying to stay on task with one episode. So you can incentivize me though. If we want to set a goal of like, we make this much money and Lindsay gives that much more of her life to writing scripts and putting out episodes, that I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that. Just tell me what it's worth to you. Consider the heater done. Aw, thanks, Rowdy. I'm dying of heat in Israel over here. Oh, gosh. Is it warm in Israel? Because why did I go to Phoenix and not Israel? It's on my list. It's on my list. I'll come and visit. The heater sponsor should be called Hotties or Turning Up the Heat. I love it. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. That is precious. You know what? Oh, that's so precious. And what's so great about it is it's not just going to be good for me. It's going to be good for Maya, who's directing at the same time. It's going to be good for the size show teams, the crash course teams. That little heater, or if we get multiple ones because you're so supportive, can move around to all the different rooms. Hello. Awesome. And they won't know. They'll just be like, gosh, this is so weird. This lovely little machine of signature or names, hotties, just appeared out of nowhere to keep us all warm. Nobody will know. I'll tell them. Opinions on the phrase bros before hoes, chicks before dicks. For example, multiple of my closest friends are getting into relationships and I feel like I'm being left alone. Context and intent. I think if the context is that you're talking with people that you care about or people understand what it is you're saying and your intent is to communicate and not do harm, then by all means, you do you, express yourself. I do think, though, there may be more passive-aggressive comments. And so if there's a way to say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you in your new relationship, and I feel alone, it would be great if we could schedule time together, like a regular time where I see you. Awesome. Or invite the new couplage over to your house and offer to make them dinner. Cute hat. Also an infant recipient of a circumcision. I approve of ragey videos about it. Oh, well, that is lovely to hear. Really? Okay. Whoa. I got way ahead of myself in the comments. Oh my goodness. All of you are writing so quickly. Okay, ragey videos. Hi, Lindsay. Although most of the info you talk about is not new for me, your channel and way of thinking about sexuality made me much more comfortable to discuss. Awesome. Speaking events in Texas. No, but if you invite me and or how do I explain this? The way it works is usually a school or conference will invite me and they will cover a speaking fee and my expenses. And so if you're interested in having me there, I would suggest going to a university or college in your area, preferably with a group of people who are also sexplanauts and care, and encouraging them to invite me. And then they can contact me. I can give them the data, the information, and then they can make a decision. Also, if you hear that I'm going to someplace close to you, like, for example, I'm going to Boston, hopefully, to speak at Northeastern. And if you're in the Boston area, connected to a school or a group, or you just want to put together something off the cuff, then you can invite me and say, hey, I know you're going to be here. Is there any way that we can work an event into your time here? I try to be good giving and what is it? Good giving and game. I want to say a huge thanks as well, Lindsay. The amount of links to your videos that I've sent to friends who bring up questions and concerns is staggering. Oh, I love that, because then, okay, it's like this, right? If I teach my kids how to use condoms, great. That's awesome. Right now, I have 3 teenage girls. That has made a huge difference. Those 3 teenage girls will hopefully not get pregnant until they want to, and they will hopefully not get sexually transmitted infections. But if those kids teach the kids at their school how to use condoms, such a, so good. Possibly very relevant question: how to get over the guilt of having had my son circumcised, how to apologize and help him through when he becomes more aware of this. Oh, yeah. I mean, we're looking at generations and generations and generations of people in your son's situation and in yours as a parent. And I think there are all sorts of forums for parents who circumcise their children because that's the information they were given. That's what they believed was the best thing to do. And I think it's okay to say, hey, so when you were little, it was believed that this was a good idea and we made the best decision we could for you, but we didn't have all the information. And if you were an infant now, I would make a different decision. This is how I feel now. I feel like that foreskin is really important and I would not have done that. But I hope that you love your body and you know that I was trying to do the best I could. We make decisions like that all the time. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think, like braces and how parents used to put their kids in this giant headgear, or we used to use nonoxynol 9 on our condoms as an active ingredient and lubricant as a spermicide, and that only exacerbated irritation to the system, which then caused the immune system to come and kind of deal with the problem, but made people more susceptible to HIV. We make mistakes all the time. It's just how you recover from them. The humility and open conversations, and hopefully your son will be open to that and know that you are doing the best that you can. Also, good lesson to your son to see humility. Where can I find more information about your appearance in Michigan? I'm going to post some flyers that they sent me, the marketing materials, on Twitter, but it's in Auburn. I think it's called Auburn. And then I'm going to drive across the border in the evening and stay in Canada, because why not? I live with my parents and would like to own a few sex toys, but can't imagine going down very well anyways to get and hide sex toys from parents. There are lots of episodes on Sexplanations about sex toys, and some that show good storage spaces. I think the one that's coming to mind right now is that I put the sex toys in a plastic bag, like a one-time use grocery bag. And then I hung it over, if you have a clothes hanger, I hung it over the hanger so it's hanging down, and then I put a coat or a shirt over it and buttoned it up and then put it in the closet. So the garment is concealing the sex toys, but There's a whole episode. Maybe somebody can put the link to that episode where I talk about where to put sex toys in the chat. Okay. I once burned myself with hot water too. Oh, I am feeling better. Lots and lots and lots of aloe. Sorry, I keep mentioning other people, but it gets me excited thinking about awesome collaborations. Yes, I love collaborations, though oddly they're less watched than the rest of our content. Do you know the Stuff Mom Never Told You podcast? And do you work with them? I don't work with them. I would like to. I don't listen to podcasts. I have a really hard time with reading books and podcasts. For some reason, that input into my brain is very difficult for me. I feel like with the podcast that I am eavesdropping and I have a hard time focusing. And so really the only one that works for me right now is Dear Hank and John. I rarely listen to it, but it's because I can visually imagine them talking. And so there's a visual component to it. And with reading books, my attention does not hang on to words like that for very long. So now there's more you know about me. Yes, circumcision rage video. Yay, rage video. Second the circumcision rage video. All of you are so great. Maybe I'll just do a live stream where I rage about circumcision. And it won't be a Sexplanations. Maybe, I don't know. More will be revealed. Hey, I'm a 23-year-old girl and I have always been disabled and I have internalized the desexualization and it happens to people with physical disability. I get bored fantasizing. How can I help myself? I mean, lots of people get bored fantasizing. Helping yourself. Okay, here's some things I think. With a lot of my clients, I encourage them to talk with people like them. There's something that a clinical sexologist, a sex therapist, a professional cannot do for that person, which is to have a shared experience and grow from that. I think I've talked about it in videos, the way that an alcoholic needs to talk to another alcoholic in order to find sobriety. And so, for example, if somebody is struggling with an erection, talking with somebody else who struggles with erection is very, very healing. And so with that, I would talk to other people who are like you and learn from their experiences. What have they done that works or doesn't work? Do they have hope? And can you borrow some of that? What are their strengths? But I think about myself and how I went through this period where sex was really painful and I wasn't willing, I think at that time, to talk to people whose sex lives were also painful. I think that would have just been harder for me. Be like, oh my gosh, I can't fix me and I can't fix you. But what really helped was talking it out with someone who understood. And I also did this exercise where I took giant sheets of paper and I straddled them on the floor and would color or write and essentially let my vagina speak and tell me what it wanted or needed or thought and how it expected me to heal. So, you know, you could write a letter to your vagina and let your vagina respond. I don't know what reproductive organs you have, but let the body communicate. Let the mind communicate. What fantasies come up next? Also, BDSM, great community, super inclusive, and so good about the expansion of sensations so that it is not restricted to your classical erogenous zones, but you could get pleasure from, other parts of your body. Is anyone else in the studio today? Lots of people are upstairs. So the main floor of the building are all of the producers, production team, writers, editors, etc. And on the upper floor, there's VidCon. And then downstairs in the basement, I don't think anyone is here because they turn on this red light when somebody is recording so that people are quiet, and the red light was not on. What is a circumcision rage video? Oh, I was telling people earlier that basically I wrote a script with my rage against circumcising males or babies assigned male at birth and have uncertainty about making that a Sexplanations episode or not. You can talk about TLC Tugger, which can potentially regrow foreskin on the penis. Yes, I could. I know sex is political, but could you make a video on sex and politics? Yes. Did I? I have recorded it. I don't know if it's come up. Let me see if you've seen it yet. We've done something that is very odd, which is to get ahead on the show. The team is just spinning videos out really quickly. So it used to be that I would write, we would record, we would edit, it would go up all in that short period of time, 1 week at a time. And now I am writing for something that comes out almost a month later and recording it a month early. That's wild. Let's see. The 7 myths about semen was supposed to be my political video. And it's not hugely political, but it was about science versus current beliefs, political beliefs that science doesn't matter. And those ideas that we run with, the myths out there, when we can rely on science, or at least utilize it to give us more information and help us make better decisions. I have wanted, though, for a really long time to do a video on the sex lives of presidents. And I don't mind getting political. I just get so sad when I think about politics. Are you able to do an FGM video as well? Yes. I will do all the videos as long as I'm around. And if I am not around, like if I decide to go, I don't know, have an olive orchard in Mexico, then I will make sure that you have the coolest Sexplanations host replacement ever. Can you make the post rage video on doe eyes and then point to it from your main channel? Yeah, that is a third option. Everyone is always talking about the importance of teaching kids the proper names of things, but I think it's important to teach them slang terms. Sure, I weave them in and out when I'm talking to kiddos and people in general. Oh, I love that you're all on the heater and supplying the basement of complexity with heaters. I love it. How does one become less codependent? 12-step programs. What's a good way to start a sexual component of a new relationship in a sex positive way? A won't list. Dr. Doe, please watch Aaron Carroll's circumcision HCT video before your rage. Will do. Absolutely will do. He and I did I think we talked about it on a podcast. Hey, Kuzmas, I think people will update you because you want to get in on what has been going on the Sexplanations live stream. Let's see. Pop Culture Detective does videos analyzing movies and films and the culture surrounding them. Right now, he is planning on making a video about using stalking as a romance trope in movies. Okay. Hello. I'm a big fan of you. I'm a big fan of you. Now something happened and the scrolling on the thing, it went too fast. Okay, wait. Okay. Then I love your channel and podcast so much. As a very curious asexual person. That's fun. Also, you help me communicate with my allosexual partner about how much I'm willing to do and how very happy I am. And now I am very happy. Okay, great. I like that. I was writing the circumcision rage video and talking about how people need to stop cutting their babies because they will have better sexualities in the future. And I was thinking about the asexual community and whether or not you would take offense to that, because like I don't want to say that I am assuming that they're going to have sex later and that their sex lives will be better if you leave the foreskin on. I'm just saying sexuality is as a whole. So masturbating, having their penis be comfortable or their clitoris be comfortable, all of those things. So hopefully if you see a Sexplanations circumcision rage video, know my intentions. I'm a graphic designer and I'm working on a personal project to promote sex ed. Thank you. My thesis project for uni is about that. Awesome. I just wanted to share with you since you are one of the people who inspire me. Oh, you're so cool. All of you are so delightful. What awesome human beings. I'm planning on writing a paper on bad language and how it affects our culture, and your douchebag episode was great. Could you do follow-ups? There is another language video on Sexplanations that I would recommend even more than that. And then Seth Thinks Thoughts did an episode based on that episode, which is brilliant about language and how it affects our culture. I wonder if you could, the super chat option so we can direct the option so we can donate directly. I tried to turn it on, but I don't know how to do that. So I will figure that out for next time because it's on my bucket list, my 2018 bucket list, to do 12 live streams. So I will do that. And then you can donate directly if you feel so kind and able. That's really thoughtful of you. Do you have a video on reproductive rights? If not, could you make one? I have a video where I list sexual rights, and I have a video on choice, but not specifically reproductive rights. I would say I have a video on almost everything because I try to pull multiple topics into a single video. Yeah, good giving in game. Am I really that far behind on the chat? Oh my gosh. How do you discuss sexuality with people who see it as a taboo and repress themselves because of it without getting in trouble or hurting them? Oh. Listening, patience. I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of guys about circumcision, and they seem to be very happy they have gotten circumcised. Yeah. I hear that. I hear that that is what you are saying to me. You'll hear my response in the rage video. They've always told me it was easier to clean, but how do they know? My mom is great. She's fine with me having sex toys. Cool. Could you do a video on vaginismus? Yes. Oh yeah, I'm older and totally thought Noxonol 9 was still being used for spermicidal purposes. Not anymore. I mean, yes, it is, but in something that is marked as a spermicide, not as automatic lubrication on condoms. Do you still give consultations? I'm thinking of putting together a spiritual successor of the book of erotic fantasy and erotic table-type role-playing game, and I'd like advice. I don't know. I'm deciding whether or not to keep my private practice. Right now it's on hiatus, but I keep getting messages from people who are like, please help me. And then I don't know what to do. So I will ask that question as well in polls on the Sexplanations podcast and Sexplanations YouTube channel feeds, Patreon feeds. I relate to the podcast thing. It's like 100% talk on the radio. Yep. I have too many unread books. Yep. You should do a video discussing the current Me Too movement and women's rights. I know your work addresses many of these issues perfectly, but as a teaching show, you should address current events more. I don't know how. Current events change really quickly. Positions on them change really quickly. And current events happen currently. I will say that somebody who is tackling them, and from what I have seen doing a really great job, is Lacey. She has specifically devoted part of her channel to a current event series, and it seems to be helpful. Feelings on the argument that circumcision, and that's Lacey Green on Sex Plus, so in case you don't know. Feelings on the argument that circumcision is good for later in life because it's too difficult for the elderly to keep properly clean. I mean, then we should circumcise the clitoris as well. And can't paste the URL, but this is the end for the garment thing, hiding toys. Awesome. Thank you. Live streams. What's the safe word? Yeah, they have been really awesome. I wrote last night an episode about sexual discipline, and what's the safe word helps with that. What are your thoughts on genital preferences? Example, not dating any transgender men because they have a vagina. See the sexual racism video and just replace racism with sexism. I know society is not ready for that, but we're going to go there. I think that I use sexual fantasy and masturbation to escape from and numb feelings. Make sense? Is this common treatment and is there treatment, or is this common and is there treatment for it? Yes and yes. I mean, if it's causing you anguish, people certainly seek out. SAA is a 12-step program that I think applies. There's also a lot of literature and chat groups and forums for that. BDSM is, and obviously clinical sexology and sex therapy. I'm going so quickly because you're typing questions faster than I can talk. BDSM is amazing. Pleasure comes from all sorts of experiences. Yes. That was about my question. Thanks. Yes. Know you're a busy person, so I'll just drop the names of who you should collaborate with. ContraPoints, Rentesimo, Rep Critic, Pop Culture Detective. What you could do that would be helpful is to make a suggestion on Twitter of both of our handles so that we see each other. And if they are interested, then we'll go from there. Thanks for the compliments on my hat. Just a little dash of politics. Oh, hey. Can online relationships be sexual if, say, role play? Yes. Does sexual engagement with the internet worry you? Only if it's worrying. I need to tell kiddo that I can't talk right now. Okay. As someone in a... It did it again. It jumped on the chat. So, okay. Here we go. As someone in a long-distance relationship, I'd really appreciate more long-distance explanations. You did get a really thorough, great one. I hope you have seen it. And if not, I think that it's okay to take a lot of the other episodes and just apply them to long-distance relationships. I write and in my head imagine someone who can't see, someone who can't hear, someone who doesn't have all of their appendages. I imagine someone who is trans, someone who is ace, someone who is a person of color, etc. I try to think of all of these minority groups, people who are in long distance relationships, and hopefully my words don't exclude anyone, but I understand. I'm limited by my language. I recently had a breakthrough with my pain during intercourse and had your first pain-free sex. That's awesome. Congratulations. It's a really big deal. I was disappointed in the 7 semen myths video because it was so historical. Would have liked, I agree with that. But, okay, here's how that happened. We had done a lot of how-to, more of the sexual finesse stuff, and I felt, and some people commented, that the channel was getting away from more of the academic side of sexuality. So I did the sex cultures video. The sex culture is an intimacy video. And when I was doing research for that, I kept seeing all of these things about semen. And so I just put them into a document and then turned them into an episode because there was too much to put them together to include the semen myths into the cross-culture intimacy video. And I don't know, it was a nice way for me to share other things that I learned. But yes, I agree with you. It'd be cool to think about things like whether or not pineapple really helps with the taste, and whether or not sperm are actually swimming into your eyeball if you get semen into your face. I mean, I don't have the answers, but as I come by them, then I will try and write and then teach. Okay. Frou, haha. You are coming up with really great suggestions. Also, I have collaborated with Healthcare Triage. I just realized I'm wearing my Stay Curious shirt. That's cool. You want me to do a TED Talk? I don't have the self-efficacy for that right now. My belief in my ability to do that specific thing is very low. As you can see, I'm kind of frazzly when I talk without a script. And when I teach in front of an audience, it is so much about who is in the audience. One of my greatest skills, I think, is being able to read who is there and what they think and what they know and what they don't know. And a TED Talk is not about that. A TED Talk is about having something prepared and just giving it beautifully all at once. And not my skill set yet. Not saying I can't. Is the stream running ATM? I can't see anything. I don't know. I don't know if it's broken or not. What YouTube channels inspire you or do you watch? I always love knowing what drives people. I watch Wheezy Waiter. I watch the Vlog Brothers. I like Decoded by Francesca Ramsey. I occasionally check in on Sex Plus so we know what's going on, and some Hannah Witten, some Stevie Bobby, some Shannon Boudram, just so we're not doubling up. Same with Ash Hardell. For enjoyment purposes, I really like Just Between Us. I'll occasionally watch some BuzzFeed things because, man, they really know how to nail entertainment. I'm sure there are more obvious ones that I'm just not remembering right now. What's the safe word? You have a great channel, so you know. I just started watching it yesterday, but I would add it to my list. Do you have any ideas on art and sex? Yes, I would love to do a video, and it would be really fun to collaborate with Sarah from Art Assignment, but we'll see. How does one know whether one is truly on the asexual aromantic of the scale or only just has this case of lousy attachment? Stay curious. Also, I think that there's probably some resources on asexuality.org that you can check out. On the circumcision part, I can confirm that smegma does not get stuck behind the foreskin. Is it that hard to clean? Absolutely not. If Lindsay makes it this far, I hope she smiles because she's the best. If not, that's cool though too. How far behind am I? Oh my goodness. Okay. This is a really silly question, but you get overwhelmed sometimes doing this work as a woman. Army obviously have helped too. Kudos to them, but don't you think you should take breaks more often? I take lots of amazing breaks. I am so good to myself with self-care. Really good. Like, I eat great food. I just did a dance class. I go to the hot springs all the time to soothe my body. I stretch. I have mind-blowing sex and masturbate if I need that. In addition, lots of open communication, really healthy relationships. I hang out with friends all the time. I go on trips. Don't you worry about me. Masturbation is better for me when it's a stimulation of the glands at the foreskin. I love my foreskin and it loves me. Yes, it probably does. Have you seen Masters of Sex? Yes, some of it, but not all of it. It kind of makes me uncomfortable. I'm lesbian, but I want to have sex with a guy. Not sure if it's because I'm genuinely interested in him or if I'm just curious right now and I don't want to start a relationship with unequal feelings. Gosh, these questions are so fun. Like, why isn't this an episode? Oh, I don't know the answer to that either, but I hope you stay curious. Would you like an insider's view on erotic roleplay on the internet? Yeah. And please talk to the people who are talking about wanting to incorporate role play on the internet relationships. I feel like it can be difficult sometimes to really get all the terminology right. Yes, that's true because it's changing and limited. Thanks for the compliments. The stream is working. It's fine here too. Stream's working. Oh my gosh, I am so far behind. But I'm going. How are we doing on time? Okay, I'm going to do this for about 10 more minutes if that works for you. Do you know kind ATV? No, but I'm happy to learn. I have a fetish for pregnancy and pregnant women. I believe you. Do I consider it sexist if you don't have attraction to male to female trans women? I don't know. We talked about this a little bit earlier with the sexism or the sexual racism video and partners, et cetera, et cetera. There's so much changing with bodies and gender and biosex and sex assigned at birth and all of those things. It's getting totally revamped. And so I hate to take a stance on anything because it's going to be an expired language. You mentioned that you would be speaking at Northeastern in Boston in the future. When are you going to be talking there? I think it's March 22nd. Will you do more videos on BDSM? Yes, I just wrote one. If you do an episode on vaginismus, could you include tips on explaining it to your partner? Yes. Will you remind me though? How do you manage to talk so boldly and effortlessly when it comes to sexuality? I've been doing it for a long time. All the time with lots of people in lots of different environments in lots of different ways. How does it not drive other people away? I'm sure it has, but if I maintain my muchness, then I either attract people who want to have that or I don't. And I think that that's what's cool about humanness is that we get to choose where we put our energy. I'm going to get back to school, but thank you for educating me. Yeah, you're welcome. Have fun at school. Could you name an artist you have found inspiring? I would love to be influenced by some sex positive artists. Sex positive artists. I feel like my mind just went blank. Recently, I went and toured Acrosanti in the Phoenix area, and Paulo Soleri, who does the architecture that's ecologically minded. It's just like a beautiful artist. What else? Picasso has done some really erotic pieces that I appreciate. Of course, I'm detaching all of these people from other life decisions that they make. Who else do I? There's a person named Vulva Love Lovely. I really like their art. A lot of the stuff on Etsy. I'll type in vulva on Etsy and I just love what's going on there. Ash Walker, I think is her last name. She's on Twitter. She just made the art for Stevie Bobby's merch and I think it's super cool. Sex positive artists. I'll have to think about that. Could you do something about sex in different context cultures, specifically getting to a sex positive place after living in a sex opposed culture? I think that's Sexplanations. Hopefully you see us as a different context and culture that heals. Dr. Joe, I love your work. After watching your videos, I feel more comfortable with my body. Yes. Who are your upcoming guests on the podcast? Whew. Dustin, who did the sex positions video with me in the green suit. I'm interviewing someone from our local HIV resource office. I am interviewing a friend of mine who lives in Palm Springs, I think, if all goes well. I did an interview with the sound engineer for the Sexplanations podcast. And I don't know. There's a huge list. It's all filled out. But if anybody wants a spot, you just let me know and we can on the phone. Have you done a video on hand jobs? Not specifically. I think my circumcision rage video that I really want to do is basically about hand jobs. Like how much easier they are to do if there's foreskin. I just listened to your podcast with your daughter. She is awesome. She is just as awesome as her mom. Oh, thank you. It's a double compliment. Do you know the Muffin Man? No. I saw the same Hannah Witten video and I thought she was very brave to film so soon. Yeah, she is amazing. How can I become a guest on the podcast? I'm a paraplegic and I would love to have you share your knowledge. Okay, one moment. Multiple kids are calling me, so we're gonna. Hello? Hi, can I call you later? Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'll talk with her tonight when she calls. Mm-hmm. In like 15 minutes. Okay. Love you too. Bye. Okay. That was a thing. How can I become a guest on the podcast? Oh, we answered that. I I moved again. I would write to her and just see what she wants. Friends are there for each other during times and asking. I think that somebody's answering somebody else's question, which is really cool. Yeah, all of you are talking to each other. I love it. Ideas. What are your thoughts on how your ideas apply outside American or Anglophone contexts? That's hard. I don't know what it's like in other places, at least not in a broad, complete way. And so I try not to say America or just apply here, 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 here. And I hope that people can take what I'm saying and apply it to their communities, but I don't know. And my thoughts are that if you feel like I'm deficient in some way, one, I'm happy to take suggestions, but two, I'm also happy to support creators in those places who can speak to the sexuality needs of that region. Oh yeah, Funkit Toys is a sex positive artist whose stuff I love. That being said, I'm not calling you sexist. Oh yeah, you are having your own conversation. Very cool. Thank you. What's a safe word if you want to do a podcast? Do you know what your event at Northeastern University is called? Ask a sexologist? Sexplanations Live? I don't have it off the top of my head. Is there a good reason for sons to be circumcised at a young age if the father had to be circumcised at an older age? And why don't parents want to discuss it? I don't know. I mean, no, I don't think there is a good reason for sons to be circumcised unless the doctor says it's a medical necessity and not just a cultural cosmetic one. My favorite art is the statue of the devil that was commissioned for the church but rejected because they are too sexy, so they got the artist's brother to make another, and that one was even sexier. Haha. Hope you have a lovely afternoon and evening. Oh, thank you. Hi, Dr. Doe's kids. The Modern Love podcast recently did a beautiful piece on sex between the elderly. Is that a topic you ever intend to showcase? I did interview my 70-something, almost 80-year-old grandmother about her sex life. How did you get into YouTube in the first place? I have talked about it so many times. Can somebody please link this person to my story? This mama kid phone call is making me so happy. God. What are your plans this year on Sexplanations? I am so busy doing them that I can't even think of them. To get on top of this Patreon thing, because you're all the reason why the show exists and I want to be better to you. So I'm trying to get more packages out. I'm trying to get more tips out. I'm trying to send you messages and show you how much I appreciate you. I would say that is my main goal. And then beyond that, it's just keeping the channel interesting and getting new makeup. I don't know how to do my makeup or what to do with my hair. Going on vacation this week and sharing a room with someone who is clearly interested in me. How do I keep the trip fun while not reciprocating those feelings? Open communication. Thanks for answering so many questions. You're welcome. Respecting everyone's privacy. Obviously, I'd like to learn more about how your home and relationship within it are structured with communication, etc. Yeah, I've actually thought about having sex and having my phone record everything that's happening verbally so that you have an actual script of what people could say when they're having sex, the open communication. We'll see. Keep it funny by being yourself, respect all. I love it when you are all answering each other's questions. Just signed up to your Patreon page because I think it's such a good idea. Thank you again for the show. You're welcome. Thank you all for participating in this live stream with me. Next time I will have my stuff more together and we'll get the donation thing turned on. So if you want to pledge in the moment, you can do that. I'll also, and can someone send me a Twitter message about this, set up the hotties thing so that I can write all over the heaters that we put down here as a gift. So cool. That's going to be fun. So yeah, just remind me if there's anything that I said I would do and you remember what that is, if you can send me a Twitter message or Facebook, that would be really helpful. I'm going to head out now, but I hope all of you have a wonderful day and stay curious. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. I don't know where it is. Where is the screen that turns it off? I don't know. I'm looking for it and can't find it. So I'm just going to keep waving goodbye to you. No, it's not. You're just going to have to sit on my computer and that's just the way that it's going to be. Nope. 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 Where is it? Where is the goodbye screen? Oh, I found it. Bye.